Hi, CCDA. It's been a challenging year. We've been living through the trauma of a viral pandemic, which brought to our attention the racial disparities that exist in our country. This is nothing new, but holed up in our homes with little new to watch other than the news, we've been inundated with violent images, the senseless deaths of African Americans, the struggle for dignity and humanity at our southern border, the verbal and physical attacks on elderly community members, and a violent insurrection at our nation's capital, all in real time. We've encountered an apocalypse revealing the grip of white supremacy on America. A week ago, Asian and Pacific Island Americans and allies in CCDA gathered to mourn and pray for the families of the 8 people who lost their lives in the Atlanta area, and about the rise of anti-Asian racism that has taken place. In the tradition of the prophets, we lament. We cry out to God about the grief we feel, having lost loved ones, having lost jobs and opportunities over the last year, and for the sinful thinking of white supremacy that our country was founded on and continues throughout our systems today. We cry out to God for justice on behalf of African American brothers and sisters, our Latina and Latino hermanos and hermanos, and our Asian American sisters and brothers who have been disproportionately impacted by COVID and the ugly acts of racism. We know from history that the prophets' laments went unanswered for centuries. We feel the pain of the discouragement they felt. We want our churches and our country and our world to be made right. But from history, we also know that just at the right time for Israel and for us, God sent the Messiah. Jesus taught people to reimagine systems they knew in a new way. He used parables and common examples of daily life to reveal the nature of God and God's kingdom that broke from traditional thinking. And ultimately, Jesus showed us how to reimagine death in a mind-blowing way with his resurrection. The theme for CCDA conference this year comes from Ephesians 3:20, but I want to back up a bit and share more of the Apostle Paul's benediction. Paul says, starting at verse 16, I pray that, according to the riches of God's glory, God may grant that you may be strengthened in your inner being with power through God's Spirit, and that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith as you're being rooted and grounded in love. I pray that you may have the power to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, so that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. May this year's resurrection celebration be a reminder to you that God makes all things new. Instead of looking at the challenges of the past year as a setback, look at them as an opportunity to reimagine possibilities. May the Spirit of God guide you and strengthen you to all the fullness that God has in store for you, for your family, for your ministry, and for your community. Peace.